Good evening, Internet. This is CFS Eurovision here, and it is once again time for a weekly roundup of National Final season. Hopefully uploaded quicker than the last one. Super Saturdays are well and truly here in Eurovision National Final season, with many national finals taking place on the weekend of 14th and 15th of February 2026. We have no fewer than 8, that's right, 8 countries to go through in this one, so buckle up, we could really be here for a very long while. We open with a revamped national selection for Greece. Last year they decided to return to the Ethnikos Telekos format, and this year they've expanded it. The now imaginatively titled Sing for Greece has 2 semi-finals of 14 songs each. 7 qualify from each for a 14-song final. All shows were hosted in Piraeus 260 in Tavros, Athens, by Georgios Kapoutzidis, Betty Majera and Katerina Vrana. The semi-finals were decided by 100% public voting, just in case you're wondering why the choices were weird in terms of quality. Let's start with semi-final 1's non-qualifiers, which were, in quickfire form, as follows. The Astrolabe with Drop It, Old Man Has a Go. Desi G with Aphrodite, glad to see the mythology isn't dead. Where is that voice going? Panagiotis Sakalakos, great surname, with Second Chance, 2.2 stars on Eurovision World, Greek Ari Olofsson. Neo with Slipping Away, as were her chances, nice but weak. Reverie with The Songwriter, I didn't fall in love with the songwriter. Dynamis with Chaos, bit of a shock, 4.5 stars on Eurovision World, don't know why it's eliminated. And Svea with Hila Komatia, meaning 1,000 pieces. Not helped by going last, but being weaker than those that immediately came before it. Semi-final 2's non-qualifiers were Ricky with Agapi, 2.3 stars on Eurovision World, yet somehow not the lowest you'll find. Bit of a hot mess, what on earth is going on with that background? Garvin's Back in the Game, the epitome of me overrating rock. This was my 3rd favourite from the semi-final, yet you have given it 2.0 stars on Eurovision World. There's a lot of rock and this may have been forgotten about, however I felt that of the rock songs, this was the 2nd best. Kiana with No More Drama, generic, ignore the outfits. Stella K with You Are the Fire, another 2.0 stars on Eurovision World. The song is quite slow, so I don't know why the background is Quickfire Flames. Tianora with Anatello, meaning I Rise. I feel slightly vindicated because you liked it enough to give it 4.4 on Eurovision World, but I put it 2nd from last. Daenerys Targaryen, man. Victoria Anastasia with What You're Doing to Me, 2.5 stars on Eurovision World. I honestly got bored and started scrolling social media in the middle of this one. And Basilica with the terrifyingly titled Set Everything on Fire, 2.2 stars Eurovision World. She's dressed as a raven because why not? The final was decided by 50% public vote, 25% Greek jury, and 25% international jury. The results in reverse order and in quickfire were 14th, Leroy Brought Flowers, yes, that's the artist name, with Sabotage, 0 points. Sounds more like Simple Touch than Sabotage. 13th, Marika with Daughters of the Sun, AEIOU, 2.5 stars on Eurovision World, 0 points. Don't ask me how they broke the tie for 0 points to get actual positions out of it, because I have no idea. This is a very Greek scene. 12th, Steffi with Europa. Was the microphone guy supposed to have been in shot? Anyway, not a bad song, just not particularly good either. 11th, Rosanna Milan with Alma, which means jump. Thank goodness this is a dance track, you can actually jump along with it if you want. It's not amazing, but still at least the title makes some sort of sense. 10th, Mike with Labyrinth. The level has risen dramatically in the last few songs, which is nice, but worries me because we're still at 10th. Getting those stones off her arms must really hurt. 9th, 2013 Alcohol is Free Legends, Cosa Mostra with Bulletproof. Rest in peace, Agathon Yakovides. I can't believe this finished so low. This deserved better, he says, overrating rock again. 8th, Alexandra Sieti with The Other Side. Sounds a bit like half of the songs that are on the radio these days, combined with Zibs with Stones from Switzerland 2018. 7th, Stylianos with You and I, too much hair product. Good song, appropriate drama, like it. 6th, Delta with Mad About It. I'm not really mad about its placement. It's rock after all. I just preferred Cosa Nostra. 5th, Zaf with Asteo, which means joke. Something it clearly wasn't, because you gave it 4.7 stars on Eurovision World. Sort of the Eastern Mediterranean version of generic Schlager, to be honest. Not particularly moved by it. 4th, Evangelia with Pareja, which means gang. 4.6 stars on Eurovision World. Agree with that, to be honest. Good song, good quality. Not what I'd usually listen to, as I'm not into rap, but this does work. It would be funny if she just kept getting faster and louder in that section, though. A little faster, a little louder. 3rd, Marceau with Hanamai, which means I Get Lost. Please don't do that. This is an okay dance track, but nothing more. 2nd, Good Job Nikki with Dark Side of the Moon. No, not that one. Falsetto for Days, not much else. And your Sing for Greece winner was Akilas with Ferto. Who saw this one coming? Except everyone. Maximum points as well. Flawless, and I'm so glad this chaos has won. This is another one I implore you to go and watch, which you can do on the ERT YouTube channel, or just search Akilas Ferto. Now, we come to a very interesting show, because this next one isn't a national final with the intention of going to Eurovision, because it's Spain's Benidorm Fest. Now, those of you who can remember that far back will remember November's depressing outcome of the vote involving both the new rules implemented by the EBU regarding advertising and the televote, and Israel's participation in the contest, which resulted in 5 countries pulling out of the contest, one of which was Spain. Spain set up Benidorm Fest in 2022 as a way of selecting its Eurovision act. But since then, it has taken on a bigger role in Spanish musical culture, and as such, RTVE, the Spanish broadcaster, has seen fit to continue Benidorm Fest, even though the winner will not be taking part in Eurovision. As I'm not covering the main contest, I may as well cover Benidorm Fest, so here goes. In a difference to the format from previous years, the 2 semi-finals will have 9 songs each, and 6 each will go through to a 12-song final. This is a change to last year, when it was 8 each in the semi-finals, and 4 going through to an 8-song final. The voting system has also reverted back to the system from previous years instead of last year. Last year it was 50-50 jury and public. This year 50% is done by the jury, 25% by a demoscopic jury, and 25% televote. The demoscopic jury is a specifically selected 350 or so member panel, chosen to be a cross-section of the wider Spanish population. The system is the same for all 3 shows, though of course we don't get to know the details of the semi-finals, only the fact of who qualifies. Without further ado, the 3 non-qualifiers from semi-final 1 were Luna Key with Bomba de Amor, welcome back Chanel, the 4 years have unfortunately aged you. Greg Taro with Velita, facially reminiscent of Axel Kankanranta, but musically struggling for identity. And Dora and Martin Collins with Rakata, a rap song with performance and staging best described as questionable. From semi-final 2, the 3 non-qualifiers were Cu Minerva with No Volveré a Llorar, I'll Never Cry Again. Dramatic, but not interesting. Very similar to Melody from last year. Funambulista with a song I can't pronounce because it has asterisks in the middle of a word in its title as if it's a swear word. It actually means there are too many idiots, which I agree with. Another exception to my overrating rock rule. And Atiat with Dopamina, very similar to Cu Minerva and just with a different aesthetic. Shame they all forgot their outfits, so had to perform in their bras and pants like a primary school kid forgetting their PE kit. So without further ado, the rundown of the final results quickly and in reverse order. 12th, Kenneth, yes, that's his real name, with Los Ojos No Mienten, The Eyes Don't Lie. It's okay if a little generic, might have done better if it had any staging at all. I know, that really doesn't look like a Kenneth either. 11th, Mayo with Tocame, Touch Me. Ugh. Too much, too on the nose, and none of that is helped by the lack of fabric here. Not a good enough song to make further remarks. 10th, Michael Herzog Jr., probably no relation to the Herzog you're probably thinking of, with Mitad, My Other Half. I can only assume his other half is himself, because he sings in front of a giant monochrome version of himself. Yeah, I really don't get this one, sorry. 9th, Danny J with Bailandote, Dancing With You. It's more rap than dance, but I can appreciate the quality. I don't know why he's brought some scaffolding onto the stage with him, but maybe it can be reused for a building project now the competition is over. 8th, Maria Leon featuring Julia Medina with Las Damas y el Vagabundo, The Ladies and the Tramp. Sounds familiar. Anyway, a lot more collabs overall this time around. Heart-Shaped Disco Ball, are they dressed as it too? Overall, meh song. 7th, The Kinkies, no, I'm not pronouncing it the correct way, with Tu no me quieres, You Don't Love Me. Ouch. The song is catchy and fun, and the staging really makes it, I think. Also, Golden Motorbike, so what's not to love? 6th, Kitai with El Amor Te Da Miedo, Love Scares You. Does love scare you? Are you afraid of love? I'm not sure it's a word I'd associate with love. Female rock, nice job, I'm convinced. 5th, Miranda, as I'm sure I'm supposed to say it from the exclamation mark. And Baila Mama with Despierto Amandote, I Wake Up Loving You. Please do not do that. This is complete chaos, and I love it. The song, this man who just sort of yodels, and the staging overall, and that woman's outfit, which she can use those shoulders to swim afterwards. 4th, Izan Yunas with Que vas a hacer? What are you going to do? I'm going to make comments and then move on. What's your problem? Anyway, this is just a young man attempting to sing a difficult song. 3rd, Rosalinda Galan with Mataura, which I haven't got a translation for, but it's dramatic, it's Paso Doble-esque, so I guess it's some sort of translation for Matador. 2nd, Asha with Turista, tourist. She's on a train, get it, because she's a tourist. Very clever. How did that window change from an LED to the actual crowd in the back? And your winner of Benidorm Fest was Tony Grox and Lucy Callis with Te Amare, I Will Love You. DJ deck inside a fountain, catchy song. Yeah, that's about right. Stop number 3 of 8 on our European tour is the final of the 3 that had semi-finals in midweek, followed by a weekend final. Methinks too many countries are trying to impersonate the main contest. Anyway, this is Croatia's Dora. No format change of note, 2 semi-finals, 12 songs each, 8 go through to a 16-song final. The semi-finals are 100% televote again, just in case the quality of those that go through is questionable. The 4 songs that were eliminated in semi-final 1 were Jasmina Makota with Higher, 2.2 stars on Eurovision World. Very demure, very mindful, very boring. Tony Sky with Oh Ne, which means Oh No, which perfectly encapsulates how I feel about the song, and so do you, 2.5 stars on Eurovision World. Fran Uccellini with Ako Bolje Bude Sutra, meaning if it's better tomorrow, which makes it sound like he has plans that have to be rescheduled due to inclement weather. Can't say much about the song itself, too forgettable. And sadly, Fengster with Memento Mori. Fengster is a much-loved member of the Eurovision online community who has entered Dora before, so I feel a slight affinity to him and I'm sad it didn't go through. The 4 songs eliminated in semi-final 2 were Gabriel Ivic with Light Up, which didn't really, 2.5 stars on Eurovision World. Criminally, Zevin with My Mind, 4.7 stars on Eurovision World, yet eliminated. Also my second favourite of this semi-final. Really fun chaos bop. Ivan Seva with Crying Eyes, Nothing Burger sung by a cowboy, and Kanzia with 3 Eurotro, which means 3 a.m, which is the time it felt like when I heard it because I felt that far asleep. 2.0 stars on Eurovision World. There's barely any music happening in this song, honestly. To the final, and the reverse result from the 50% public, 25% Croatian jury, and 25% international jury combination was 16th, Emma Bubic, Vrijeme za nas, Our Time, and it wasn't their time. However weird they dance, it won't save a meh song. 15th, Ananda with Dora. Yes, a song called Dora in a competition called Dora. Amazing. 4.6 stars on Eurovision World, and yeah, I don't know why this is this far down either. Dramatic, atmospheric, etc. 14th, Lana Mandaric with Tama, Darkness. Not much darkness in the 4.6 stars on Eurovision World. Sounds a bit like Kato featuring John with Lights Off. That's about the biggest compliment I can give. 13th, Noel with Uninterrupted. I actually really like this song and I'm surprised it came this low. Yeah, a bit samey, but no more than others have been, and it's nice and upbeat and fun. 12th, Lara Demarin with Mantra. Another good one, fallen by the wayside fairly early. Hips were moving, but clearly people's voting fingers weren't. 11th, Ritam Noir with Profumi di Mare, Scents of the Sea, such as water and salt, I guess. Not these slightly muted and stripped back guitars and drums. Sergey with Scream, no, not that one. We'd have an even bigger problem on our hands if it was him, although this song does make me want to scream, "Switch it off!" There's not much wrong with it, but it irritates me for not much of a reason. 9th, Marko Kutlic with Neodutivo, Inalienable, like it's a civil right or something. Where's he gone? Yeah, slightly dramatic, not great. 8th, Irma with Ni Traga, Not a Trace. There may be a trace of chicken in that outfit, though. Yeah, decent song in native language, not much to say other than that. 7th, Alenduras with From Ashes to Flame. Why are we going backwards in that process? We've already set the thing on fire. Don't turn the remnants into more fire. That's too much. Anyway, another drama song. Jack Savaretti vibes. There are too many of these in this show. 6th, Lima Len with Raqueta, The Rocket. Now this is fun incarnate. Look at that staging and tell me you don't want to watch this. And the song is just as fun. This is another of my go and listen to this song list. Lima Len with Raqueta on the Dora HRT YouTube channel. 5th, Devin with Over Me. I like this one in the semi-final. The rock accents make it stand out from the other songs with similar vibes, which really helps it here. 4th, Toma with Ladina, Meadow. How peaceful is this song? Very. It's very Eastern, which is good. 3rd, Stella Rade with Nemate, You're Gone. And it wasn't until the very end, by the looks of things. It's a ballad of heartbreak, by the looks of things, and oh my goodness, does it look depressing in that context. Wow. 2nd, Cold Snap with Mucho Macho. Dora overrating rock as much as I do. Actually, I don't even think I ranked it this high, so well done Croatia for making me look sane. However, the winner of Dora 2026 was Lelek with Andromeda. You gave it 4.6 stars on EurovisionWorld, and I'm inclined to agree. In a series of dark songs, this one still managed to stand out. The vibes are different, the voices of the singers are hauntingly beautiful. This one's really good, well done. Now we've got the shows that went on across the week out of the way. The weekend ones are coming up shortly in this video. A brief interlude. I've been getting a certain amount of interactions on my videos in recent weeks, likes, shares, comments, but most of you haven't been subscribing. Subscribing means the most to me as a creator. It's like followers on any social media site. The more you have, the more the site will prioritize your content over others, the more people see it, and the cycle repeats. So if you want the channel to continue growing, hit that subscribe button because that aids me the most. Thank you. Back to the action. We move to Estonia next for Eesti Laul, continuing with the new format it had last year, which consists of just the one 12-song final with a 3-song super final. It was held at the Unibet Arena in Tallinn by Karl-Erik Tauka and Korea, who was part of Viis Minust, who won Eesti Laul in 2024 and subsequently made the final of Eurovision that year. There were 2 rounds of voting. The first is 50-50 jury televote, which determines the top 3 for the super final. The winner in that super final is then decided entirely by televoting. In reverse position order, the acts that were eliminated before the super final were Marta Pekani with Kelkus, which means 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock is when the news airs here in the UK. That isn't relevant, but it's the only thing I could think of saying about the title. Song isn't that bad. I put it 4th, but a little short of the 3-minute mark. Robert Lina with Metzigrus, meaning Wild Rose. Don't give that to anyone, it could be diseased. 2.3 stars on EurovisionWorld. Not bad, just sort of forgettable and early in the running order. Greta Paya with Taivas Jäi Üles, meaning The Sky Stayed Up. Thank goodness it did. Can't be dealing with that in addition to all the problems going on in the world. Perhaps surprising that it's this low, 4.5 stars on EurovisionWorld. I didn't think it was anything special, to be honest. Laura Pritz with Warrior, female rock done well, ranks highly with me, but this was a strong group and it just missed out in my ranking in 5th. Uliana with Rhythm of Nature, 4.7 stars on EurovisionWorld. You loved it, me less so. just didn't make an impact in my opinion. Klicherik and Max with Jolly Roger. Welcome back, Pirates of the Sea from Latvia 2008. I loved this. I don't know why it didn't go through to the super final. We need more chaos. Ant and Minimal Wind with Wounds, Don't Wanna Fall. 4.6 stars on Eurovision World. And I'm going to disagree with you lot once again. Maybe I'm dead inside because I felt nothing. Rockefeller Street from 2011's Geteriani, remember her? With The Game. 4.7 stars on Eurovision World. A lot of highly ranked songs here, and I don't disagree with this one. It's an absolute bop, and I love it. But again, such a strong group, so it was mid-table for me. And Stockholm Cowboys with Last Man Standing. I'd have put this through because it's nice, catchy. Look at this moment involving the staging. Genuinely amazing. A travesty it didn't go through to the super final. So, the top 3 went to the super final. Third place in the super final was repeated attempt maker at Este Laul and repeated super finalist, but still never winner, Ollie, with this year's attempt, Slave. Very good rock as we've come to know from him. In my opinion, the best in the selection. And you agree with 4.8 stars on Eurovision World. Perhaps the same formula over and over again, though. Second was Noep with Days Like This. I don't like this song. It's bland, it's boring, it's too low-key staged for it to work either. It's as if people mistakenly voted for this, thinking they were voting for the songs surrounding it in the running order, which were all better. But it wasn't as bad as the eventual winner, Vanilla Ninja, with Too Epic to Be True, which wasn't. 1.9 stars on Eurovision World. Yikes. And honestly, I agree. It's generic, it's dated, it's nothing special, and the kiss cam moment was genuinely awful. I have to point out that when this image appeared on screen, I genuinely nearly threw up. On that note, I think we'll move on. This time to our weekly appointment with Sweden and Melodifestivalen. Heat 3 this time, and their tour of Sweden reaches its stop in Kristianstad, in the aptly named Kristianstad Arena. Very imaginative, the Swedish. So, the 3 eliminated songs from this heat were Emilia Pantic with Ingenting, which means nothing, as in Ingenting in English is nothing. It's a decent slow ballad, Ingenting special though, I guess. Bit 1000 Years Christina Perri vibes, so slightly dated by now. Sorry if that makes you feel old. Patrick Jean with Dusk Till Dawn. I'd have put this in the wildcard round just to see how it would have done, because the staging is interesting and the song is different enough by Melfest standards. And Korslagda with King of Rock and Roll, which he certainly isn't. Could someone please collect their grandfather from the Kristianstad stage? He appears to be performing a cliché rock song and receiving 2.2 stars on Eurovision World. So, the song that went through to the... It's not called wildcard round, CFS. The final qualification round was Eva Jumatate with Selfish. I actually found this to be the worst of the 2 slow ballads in this heat, whether it was the resemblance to 1000 Years for Emilia Pantic's entry, but this one didn't reach that standard for me. Her voice is impressive though, so that's something. Going through to the final through the points system was Saga Ludvigsson with Ain't Today. 12 points from everyone except those aged between 10 and 29, and strangely those voting via SMS instead of the app. It's a nice song, I feel it deserved its position, decent dance number, nothing special, but by Melfest standards it's good. And finally, the winner of the heat, and I agree with the result this time, was Medina with Viva l'Amour. Medina are fast becoming one of my favourite repeated acts in Melodifestivalen. This is such a fun song and the personality really shines through. I know the favourite to win is Felicia by a country mile at the moment, but I do wonder if this has a chance. If you want a good party anthem, this is a recommendation. As we know by now, a trip to Sweden in these videos is never complete without a stop in Lithuania on the way back, and a look at Eurovizja.LT. It's Heat 4 now, so let's get down to business. The 5 eliminated songs were Patricia Lushinska with Worth It. I would really question if it was. I ranked this last in what I can say was a very weak heat. There's almost no quality in here at all. 2.0 stars on Eurovision World says I'm right. I don't know what possessed the producers to put this first in the running order because it isn't a song that brings you into the show. Selene Ice, however you pronounce it, with Nessuno, which means no one. Song is okay, but the Lithuanian standard of heats. Not sure why she's turned up dressed as a marionette. Freya Ali with No Kiss Goodbye. Not a bad song, quite catchy, but her voice is extremely grating for some reason. 2.3 stars on Eurovision World. Looks a bit like a Cruella de Vil style Disney villain. Emmy Acidic, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. I know I'm wrong, but it looks like that word, so I'm saying it. The song is titled You Broke Me, as if it's over text, and I'm not a cardiologist, but I feel like the heart is supposed to be on the inside of the body. And more with Type Lengval, which means so easy, which it apparently wasn't for them to qualify, especially with this generic disco song from the 1950s. The song that made it to the, this time correctly named wildcard round was Nora Blue with Hold My Own. And she did, in a bathtub of dry ice for some reason. The song itself is decent, but having come from a heat where the standard is on the floor, this will probably struggle in the wildcard round. The finalists were Lion Cheka, I still don't know how to pronounce that, with Solo Quiero Más, which is not Lithuanian and instead for some reason Spanish, for I Just Want More. And it would seem you just want more, because this got 4.7 stars on Eurovision World. It doesn't deserve that, it's not that good. Although it does feature the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. And SHWR with Contact, which also got 4.7 stars on Eurovision World. I'm starting to think you lot got bored and started rating songs really high when they were just slightly not boring. All jokes aside, this was the best in the heat. It deserved to go through, if not just for the fact that they made performing inside a tiny circle not look static. Lumix and Pia Maria take note. We move now to the last of the countries this week that hadn't bothered up till now, with Denmark and Dansk Melodi Grand Prix, which was hosted in the Arena Nord in Frederikshavn by Sara Brø and Alex Hogg Andersen. There were 8 songs. The top 3 went to the superfinal through a 50-50 jury televote system, which peculiarly was then used again to select the winner in that top 3. I said it before and I'll say it again. A superfinal is pointless if the system doesn't change. Not that I ever expect Denmark to change these days. Anyway, here we go. The 5 acts that didn't make it to the superfinal were Sander Sanchez with Two Spirits, a lot of religious imagery, a crown of thorns, a stained glass window. All of this, but not an inventive song. Late Runner with Can You Feel It, which I can't really, and neither can those who gave it 2.5 stars on Eurovision World. Also background graphics that seem to have been added by an Atari 7800 games console from 1986. Yes, I'm doing references from 17 years before I was born. Emil Otto with Copenhagen Water. I'm gonna be honest, this aesthetic choice may not have been the best here. That just looks John Major spitting image monochrome. And the song wasn't quite exciting enough to get rid of that label either. Mirkur with Touch My Love and Die. I won't then. This one's actually quite good and dramatic. I would have put this one through to the superfinal. And Lasse Skriver with Roaring Heart, a song which wouldn't work competitively for the same reasons James Newman with My Last Breath in 2020 wouldn't have. Namely, it's samey, the differences actually make it more disjointed than anything, and it's already got a disadvantage with the country it's representing. So, we come to the top 3. Third place was last year's Danish representative Sisal, this time with Infinity. Has she learnt her lesson not to send something uber generic in order to get more than 2 televote points? No. No, she hasn't. 4.7 stars on Eurovision World say you lot really like it. But I can't help but feel it's only slightly better than Hallucination was, in the way that at least it shows her voice off in a way that isn't, let's belt out one interesting note that still sounds like a Jet2 holiday advert. Second was Erica Jane with Death of Me. Why is there so much death in this show? 4.6 stars on Eurovision World says you like this one. Honestly, so do I. It's nice and I can imagine it on a competitive stage. However, it doesn't really sound like it'd do well. So we come to the winner, which was Søren Torpegard Lund. I am betraying my part Danishness here because I'm going to butcher this pronunciation. The song title is For vi går hjem. Sorry. It means before we go home. And I just think it's nice to see Denmark choosing a half-decent song in Danish this time. Good job. Also, he has a box, which might be positive if you're a cat. Lastly, we have our final trip to Latvia in these videos for a while as we reach the Supernova final. We've been through these songs before, so I'll keep this one brief. After all, this video is getting longer than the ones that came before it, even with the amount I've quick-fired my comments. The result is calculated by 50-50 jury televote as usual, though this time it's by ranking and no points are given out. Just a quick rundown of the result then. 10th was Chrissy with Take It, Techno Unpleasant Wall of Sound, No I Won't Take It. 9th, Lejdina with Ribbon. I said I wouldn't have put it through to the final, and I stand by it. The vocal wasn't any better this week either. 8th, Demantra with Let Them. I definitely would let them do what they want to do. They look too scary for me to deal with. Genuinely like this song, and it could have been higher placed. 7th, Elpo with Blackus. Hypnotic, captivating. Happy this got a middling result instead of flopping in the final. 6th, Takasha Sakama with hashtag 010126 Coda. That looks like a mess. Song is decent, deserves its placement or thereabouts. 5th, Miks Galvanovskis with Cruel Angel. Yes, yes, yes! Love that this got the love it deserved with a top 5 finish. Classic rock will always win out for me, and you can't really say I overrated it by putting it top 2 in its semi-final now. Well, only slightly anyway. 4th, Robert Ox with Raven at the Taj Mahal. If you haven't listened to it yet, I instruct you to do so. It's amazing. The only thing I can be annoyed at is that it didn't place higher. It is a chaotic masterpiece. 3rd, Amelia with All We Ever Had. Interestingly, 3rd with both sides of the vote, so glad it got there as I feel like the negativity for it is forced and undeserved. Probably doesn't work live though, so wouldn't have said it should win. 2nd, Kautkali with Te Un Tagad. 4.6 stars on Eurovision World. Still don't understand why. But it does go really well live, especially with that staging. And your Supernova 2026 winner, which by the way was agreed upon by jury and public, was Atvara with Ena. Immersion-breaking glass effect aside, the song is ethereal, atmospheric, and effective at what it tries to do, so congratulations. So that is finally it for an exhausting week of Eurovision National Finals. And indeed one, of course, that wasn't a Eurovision National Final at all, just a random festival now. I love you, Spain. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share, comment, and most importantly, remember to subscribe. Next week there'll be less to talk about, so it'll be less exhausting, I promise. So I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.